on a Sunday morning in my paper, and a guy was cruising the neighborhood and stopped and said, "I could paint that house. Are you planning to paint it?" Said, "As a matter of fact, we are this year. It needs." Anyway, long story short, I hired him, and he was going to take like 6 weeks to do it because he worked by himself. And he gave a lowball bid of 5,000 plus paint.
Oh boy.
And the bid from Seven Devils was like 12,000. About halfway through, maybe not even halfway through, he quit.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, I felt sorry for it. It was just more than he signed up
Sure.
for.
Sure.
And I still hear about it from Nancy, who didn't like it. He was kind of a spooky little guy. And he spilled a lot of paint on the driveway and all around.
Okay, are we ready to go? I love a good paint, so we're ready to go now.
Okay. Then I will call to order the Lewiston Urban Renewal Agency regular meeting of July 14th, 2026. We have any citizen comments? Yes, not. None called in. Okay, on to the active agenda.
I think we have to approve this agenda.
So you're just gonna go through each item.
We haven't approved it in the times I've been here.
I just probably should we end up approving the agenda at the court.
We would only do that if we needed to make adjustments to the agenda that I was unable to make within like the time that I'm like legally allowed.
Okay.
Then there is an opportunity if like there's items to be added to the agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Wow, that was quick. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any dissent? It is approved. So approval of the O'Sullivan legal fee was $162.50 for June.
I move approval of the invoice from O'Sullivan.
Second.
Well, I guess I can second that.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Bank statement for the state treasurer's pool hasn't been received yet, so we'll put off the June financials till next month.
Yes, we'll have to wait for financials till next month. We checked yesterday and it still had not been posted, so they can't finish that until that portion is done. So you'll probably see 2 next month. It's just the way that
Excellent.
today.
Okay. Katie, you got the amended budget.
Okay, so now we're gonna do amended budget. So in the packet, I'm gonna steal yours real quick. And since I was only accepting 5. Oh, here's this one. Looks like, no, I have an extra one. I think 2 Peter. Okay. So in the budget or in the packet, there is an amended fiscal year 26 budget. And then I also gave you a copy of what had been approved for fiscal year 26. So you can see the differences that we're making, okay, or the changes that we're making. So the 2 changes are for project costs, both in East Orchard Sewer. You'll see there's an increase from the original contracted amount of $1,498,383 to $1,650,000. So that takes care of the 2 amendments that were approved in December and provides a small buffer just in case any other amendments are requested next month. So we don't have to amend again. The buffer's only a tiny bit. I like round numbers. And then the second one would be for Brighton Avenue, again, project costs of $200,000. So the city engineer had come in front of this board in February, asking for some matching funds for some design work and some environmental study stuff that needed to be done in order for the city to access some state funding to complete a part of that design work for, right? So the board had completed that at that point, so now we're amending the budget to include that budget capacity in this year's budget, and then after the public hearing next month, you would then see that request for reimbursement. That would kind of wrap, that's all the steps there for that one. So those are the two changes. I left everything else alone. So I did not adjust receipts, I did not adjust input, I did not adjust any of those things. Usually, when we do that annual report, in February, March of next year, you will see budget to actual, and those numbers get adjusted at that point. At this point, I honestly don't know what total tax receipts are because we have not received all of the bank statements. And usually we receive the second half of tax payments, the second kind of larger lump, in June. So, we'll have a better idea of what that actually looks like come August. So those are the changes for the amended budget.
Next question, then, so about this, so just so that I understand where we are in the cycle, if there are going to be, say, a significant difference in the tax receipts that we'll find out about next month, then do we approve a different draft? Or like, is there a reason we would approve this without knowing what the tax receipts are?
Yes, so we're approving, what I'm asking you guys to approve is the budget capacity, is to be able to pay bills.
What page is that?
It's right here.
7?
Six of eight is the amended draft,
Okay.
and 7 is what you guys had previously approved.
So it's a 27.
No, this is the 26, we're talking about 26.
Okay, so we're just amending the current budget, we're not building the new.
Yes.
No,
Got it.
yes.
I'm tracking now.
So we're amending the current budget so that we can take care of contractual monetary debt,
So-
basically.
This is the one
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
next meeting item will be draft of the.
That's what, that's what I
next
thought,
year's.
right, I thought we were doing a draft, and so I was like, wait
Yep.
a second, okay,
We
so
are.
this is just
That's-
amending.
So the first
current-
one is amending the current so that we can pay bills.
Right. And then the draft will be, then budget for the following year will be next.
Right, we also have that. Next Friday.
So anybody have any issues?
So then the other thing, just for the board to keep in mind, is this would be your opportunity if you wanted to spend any other money to make those amendments now.
Before the end of this fiscal year.
Correct.
Okay.
So this fiscal year goes until September 30. New fiscal year starts October 1. So specifically, this is usually the time of year where the board would consider if they wanted to make an extra bond payment, or if they were just going to save for another construction cycle with East Orchard Sewer. That's usually really the only other additional expense you guys entertain.
You have any recommendation, Kate?
There's not a huge balance after we pay all the bills in East Orchard Sewer. You could do an extra payment. I would probably recommend that it's small. Just so that we're not putting ourselves in a position to be super tight.
Is there a reason not to do that?
If you wanted to save up to do another construction cycle and build more sewer, that would be the reason not to. So it's one of those, it's a balancing act, right? And honestly, and you could do,
We don't have any plans for the additional expenditure.
currently we do not.
Yeah.
But usually the way that it works, when we operate with this kind of financing is it's a save and then spend.
Right. It seems to me that would, I mean, if the stated goal of the reason for we're as a being is to invest in infrastructure, it would seem to make sense that we should save the money to invest in the infrastructure, since that's kind of the reason we exist, right?
Yep.
That is the stated project in that revenue allocation area, yes.
Offhand, do you know what our bond interest rate is versus what we earn on that in the state?
I don't offhand, it's low, I know that part. I think it goes up either next year or the following year. I did not bring the amortization schedule, they did do a new one for me, at the end of last year. we earn quite a bit of interest, from the state treasurer pool though.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the bond was so low that we actually made more money.
I think interest rate wise, maybe, but total cost of the bond, like what we're paying back, no, we're not out earning that expense. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cause our payment is like $149,000 and that's split between, interest and principal, between the three areas, we do earn quite a bit, but just East Orchard Sewer does not earn that much in interest each year.
I like saving.
I like project, but I like paying debt down early.
Sure.
If it's higher price debt than what we're earning.
Right, that would make sense.
And we're ahead on payments now.
We are currently ahead on payments. You guys have made 2 extra bond payments, in previous years, totaling about 500,000. So that has, reduced the term of the bond by a couple of years.
Well, we have a good history of paying ahead, when we have the ability to do it. And that's sometimes with those who don't favor, urban renewal, accomplishing projects now instead of later. That's always a good thing to point out.
Well, there's nothing saying we couldn't do it next year.
That's right.
Right. That's
Correct.
true.
So that would be the other part. So when we get into our next budget, that would be something else.
Right, we could always put it in.
You could look at it in that budget also. Yeah, because frequently in the past, the way that it's worked is, so we always have the public hearing for approving the next fiscal year's bond, right? Or next fiscal year's budget. And then in previous years, what the board has decided to do was they looked at what was left over and they decided to make an extra bond payment. And so we would go through the same amended budget process where you're basically putting that expense, that additional expense into that revenue allocation area's budget, and you would amend that fiscal year's budget to include the additional payment, and then we make the additional payment. Yep.
Good.
And you guys could even, I mean, honestly, if you wanted to make that additional payment just in the fiscal year 27, you could choose to amend the fiscal year 27 budget now, like before we go to public hearing
That's the
to
next
include.
step in the meeting
Yep,
anyways.
to include an additional payment and be like, hey, we feel like after, we've kind of cleared everything, that we would like to do that and do whatever dollar amount you think is appropriate. And that way you're that's kind of a
But
balance
the
of saving
thing
and
is-
spending,
Yeah, but the thing is, we still don't have the receipts.
Correct.
So I feel like at least my perspective, I feel like I would like to first see what the receipts are before deciding to put everything
I agree.
into.
I agree.
So I would prefer just holding off until we have those.
Works for me.
Yep. Good to go.
Okay, so are there any other changes you guys would like to propose to the amended budget?
None here.
From me.
Can I get a motion for staff to bring the draft budget as written to the August meeting for public hearing?
Wait, weren't we first approving the amended?
The draft amended budget, sorry.
Yes.
The
The
26th.
26th, the fiscal year 26th.
Also move.
Second.
Okay, I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carries.
So we've amended 26.
So, done with that till next month.
Okay,
Review the draft fiscal year 2027 budget.
okay, so 27 budget looks fairly similar to 26. Currently, I have no project costs program. Tax receipts are based on estimations, and so they are slightly larger than previous years. Because we're kind of just mathing that out, right? And then I did print off for everybody, the professional services sheet, just so you can see where that 19,000 that's in each of the revenue allocation areas, how that gets determined. So I budgeted 10,000 for legal. Administrative cost is what we paid the city for my time, finances time, all the meeting packet prep stuff, the minutes, all the things that I do for the board. All of our technical stuff, all of that. So that's at $32,235. Our audit is at $5,600. That's our current rate. Our insurance went up a little bit with iCrimp from last year, so the $3,025 is the projected, what they sent me would be the projected rate for 27. And then RAI, which is our URA professional group, those dues went up for both just dues and then legislative lobby support, and so that's 5,200. So that's also an updated number. And so those total divided by 3 is $18,686.67. I like round numbers. We're rounded up to 19.
So,
Thanks for doing it.
Divided by 3
Divided by-
allocation.
Yeah, so 56.60 is the total, all of those added and then divided by 3 so that each revenue allocation area is
19.
a
So-
proportionate share.
I just want to make sure that I understand then. So the East Orchard Sewer District project is going to be done at the end of this fiscal year.
Yes. Oh,
That's fantastic.
yeah, so they finished up, they're doing all like their little last minute bits and
Okay.
pieces, and we should see the last bill either in August or in September.
For 17, 18, and 19.
Yes, for those segments. Yeah.
So, and there's no current project to do anything more?
So we have segments identified, right?
Okay, so that has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have, so the full area has been mapped. All those segments have been numbered and identified. We've done rock boring on all of those segments, showing kind of like what depths would need to be. The next step would be us paying a consultant to do the design of additional sewer line.
Is that something that the board has considered? Is that something we should be doing? Or is that not a discussion for this meeting and it's?
I would say it's not a discussion for this particular meeting. I think that, so normally in the scope of a year, the URA will kind of just do their normal things. And then as we go into the end of the calendar year, we usually go back and we review the revenue allocation areas and we discuss kind of next steps and how we would like to move forward.
I'll just wait till then.
And so we'd look at the sections that haven't been done and the potential for increasing housing density if there was sewer available to a section.
And I would probably ask, so I know at the end of this project, the city's sewer coordinator, engineering coordinator, Joe Kaufman has been talking to Merrick. Because the city was able, I told the board about this a while ago, the city was able to get some DEQ funding. And a portion of that we're going to use for homeowner reimbursement for hooking up to the system. But the rest of it, they're probably going to use to do some more design work. So I would probably ask Merrick to come in and talk about what segments they think make the most sense.
I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
I like that.
Would that happen before we have to approve the budget?
Yes.
No. So you just do an amended budget?
If you chose to move that quickly, I don't know that we would have enough money to move that quickly.
Got it, okay.
Because usually what happens is we're probably saving for at least 2 years,
Got
so
it,
2
okay.
cycles of
Got it.
increment going in, so that we have enough to do a full project.
Okay, that was the same line, got it.
So reading,
Which is the reason not to pay ahead at this time.
reading this, there's no project costs anticipated for fiscal 27 on all 3.
Currently, no.
Okay.
And then if something were to come up, much like the Bryden thing, we would just do an amended budget. If the board wanted to move forward with something that was presented to them.
Right now, we're in a holding pattern with, right now, I mean, we're just
Building savings.
building
Yeah.
the savings to also
To
do
do
a
a
project
project.
at some point. I'm tracking.
What's the What is the debt on the East Orchard sewer?
That's our bond. So when the East Orchard.
No, I mean, what's the total? I didn't see unless I'm missing it here, I'm not seeing
No, it's not in the
total
annual
debt.
budget. No, I did not bring that.
Okay.
It's just under $1 million. It's like 900 and change.
So there's a debt service reserve
So that's a requirement from the bank.
from the bank.
That's not the bond itself.
So we have to keep that amount.
Yes.
And they are doing just under 100,000 principal. But does this, what's the word, amortize, whatever the word is it gonna be more toward principal in the following years?
Yes, so I always leave it at that because I can never get a straight answer from the bank on exactly how much is going to go to principal and how much is going to go to interest. It's always a little off. So I have just left it at the original items. More does go to principal. But to save myself some grief farther down the line, I've just left it as is. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, that, I get it. So maybe 7 years left on this if no additional bonds are taken. 7 to 8 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think,
7 million.
Current balance is 954, 792.17.
All right.
So this is, I'm sure, really
Thank
dumb,
you, Shannon.
like a super dumb question, so,
there are no numbers.
well, I don't know. Okay, so the fund balance currently is more than what we would need to repay debt. So,
Yes, if the board wanted to basically liquidate everything that they had in there and pay it off, you could choose to do that.
but we still have a taxing mechanism, so you still could then keep
Accruing.
accruing money. It
Yes.
just would take you slightly longer to get there, but you would be
Yes.
paying interest.
Correct.
Interesting.
And there's a term.
Yes, we're all, the,
Oh, there's a term on the
on the RA.
taxing
Yep.
authority.
Yes.
Yes. So,
So it's like I said, it's one of those weighing, you have to
And
kind
what
of
is
weigh
it?
38. 2038 is when that particular revenue allocation area goes down.
the last time, the board looked at East Orchard Sewer before this latest construction project, Katie did an analysis and said, kind of, here's the fork in the road. That's where you guys are at again. Here's the fork in the road. And, she does an analysis to say, keeping in mind the 2038, is our allocation now? What do we still owe? And, she will come to you, like she said, after the fiscal year and say, here's what you can either move forward with projects, the next project, or you can start going this way and start paying down that bond. Right. And so there's arguments for both sides of that.
Okay.
And historically, we've done a little bit of both, right? So we've done our third construction project, we've made 2 additional bond payments.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yes, we've,
Whatever.
so for the board has chosen kind of balance, right? We've done a little bit of both. We built quite a bit of sewer, we've made some extra payments.
Yeah. And typically we make that extra payment at the end of the year. And so you have a lot of, with the FY 27 budget, this time next year, if you decide to go the, let's pay down the bond route. And the FY 27 budget,
Right, and do it.
throw a bunch of money at the bond and.
Right, but at this point, it sounds like what we really need to know is we need to know what the tax receipts are. And we need to know what projects
They're gonna be-
potentially are coming
they're
up.
gonna
They're gonna be somewhere in
Yeah.
this
They're gonna be-
general range that
Okay.
I've shown.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I mean,
they're not gonna be too much more or too much less.
No.
they'll be in that general area. They might be a little bit more, like I think, so for last year, I put 690 and I think we're at just over, well, once we've received all the money, I think we'll be just over 700. And I think that that's been consistent the last 2 years, so I felt comfortable enough to bump it up a little bit this year. Yeah, but so that's, those numbers are based off of
Actually,
previous year's receipts.
Okay. So then really it's about these conversations about what the next steps would be for any projects and
Right.
timelines around that.
100%.
And that's when you're going to invite the people to come and give us information.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, for East Orchard Sewer, I would probably have Mr. Kaufman come, I would have Merrick, who's done previous design work for us, and they did all the rock pouring stuff, for us. And have them go through the map and show all of the, segments, and kind of talk about what they think makes the most sense for like where lines are now and where it would do the most good to get lines to. And then for Bryden, we would probably have Luke Antonich, city engineer, and maybe Alana Bailey come in and talk about where they're at with like the federal monies for the Bryden project and kind of where they're at in their project as a whole. Lloyd, Bill is here. He usually has a representative because we do have a memorandum of understanding with Lloyd about paying first for water line replacement up to a certain percentage,
50%.
50%. That's not capped, so the board always just needs to keep that in mind. And then ditto for downtown. We would probably have Dustin Johnson come in, talk about, so they're kind of public works because the bond did not pass last year. It's kind of piecemealing projects for the downtown to get as many things fixed as they can.
And that's what they've been doing, right?
Yes. Yeah, so they just finished a water line project that went down a portion of D and down third, then down second. And so they're kind of bit and piecing it as they have budgeted funds just in the rest of their budget. So that's normally what we do is we usually dedicate a whole meeting to each of the areas. We do a big review. We talk about what we're thinking it for the future. We've been doing that annually.
That'll be like September, October, November.
Yep. Great. Yep, and that way it kind of gets everybody on the same page, especially as we have new members come in and projects get finished and that kind of stuff. So
Kind of a piece by piece project.
yes. Okay. Yeah, so that's been my MO the last couple of years that I've been involved in the URA is doing that review with the board so that everybody's kind of on the same page and the board can make decisions moving forward.
With that, I move to approve the draft fiscal year 2027 budget.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That measure carries also.
One comment on the professional services breakdown. Thanks for that, Katie. The RAI dues of 5,200. I'd like to just register that I think that's a smart investment. We occasionally have a member who questions that, and I think it's good guidance and participation statewide.
So noted.
So that's a statewide URA member or organization.
Yes. Yes, URAs from all over the state participate in that. And so part of that, part of those dues expense is that group funds a lobbyist that works at the state house to kind of stay on top of URA legislation statewide and kind of keep us up to date. I sent out those monthly reports of the Ben Broxham outfit. They do the lobbying for RAI and are contracted through them.
Okay. Do we have any board member comments?
I would just add at this time that the Port of Lewiston actually was the same lobbyist Ben Brockstone that the state URA organization does. And they spiked us with a severe price increase a year ago, a month ago, and we're actually having come to our August meeting and
Explain.
It was more than I was comfortable with.
A lot of that going around. Okay, any staff comments?
So just the normal, so we will have our public hearings at the August meeting. So is anybody unable to attend the August meeting? Very important that I have quorum, since I will be scheduling and posting for public hearings. That's August 11th.
August 11th. Uno momento.
I'm sure I'm gonna be here, but now that everybody's looking at their phones, I should too.
I'm just looking at the calendar. I should be here.
On my calendar.
I will be in town that day and we will either have Denise or myself as alternate.
Okay, so remember, I need that letter like ASAP,
Call them
because she cannot
as soon as they get
participate
out.
until she's been appointed by council.
Good.
Very important, we follow those things. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. All in favor?
I
Aye. Any opposed? That motion.
Bye, everyone.
Get that.
Thanks, Dad.
You are welcome. Have a great afternoon.
Well, it was nice of you guys to give me an easy one for the one time I have to fill in.